Hi, my name is Luke Homan, and I'm the founder and CEO of Conteneo. In this video, I'm going to explain the roles and responsibilities of the Weave platform and how you can use these roles and responsibilities to create more effective forums. First, let's start with the producer. The producer is the person who chooses one or more frameworks to solve a problem or answer a question. The producer assembles facilitators and participants and manages the overall process. In a sense, you can kind of think of the producer as the producer of a movie, where you have a person who's kind of guiding the overall process. A facilitator, on the other hand, is a person who assists a group of people using a framework to solve a problem in a forum. And by the name facilitator, we recommend that facilitators should know the framework and practice good facilitation techniques. What we mean by good facilitation techniques are things like helping people understand the purpose of the forum, helping people guide them through the use of the framework to solve a problem, keeping track of time, and answering questions. Now, in our movie analogy, the facilitator is often like the director, where the director is making sure that the actors are doing the best job. That means that the participants are the actors. They're the people who are really doing the work. Now, often, the producer and the facilitator are the same person, but not always. Let's look and see when they're the same and when they're different. When you have a small number of forums, the producer and the facilitator are usually the same person. Let's say that Ming is a product manager, and she wants to prioritize features with 18 key customers in her customer advisory board. In this case, Ming will create 3 forums of 6 customers per forum, and she will personally facilitate those forums. Another example would be Sanjeev, who might be a Scrum Master, and he's got a team, and he wants to make sure that they're running effective retrospectives. So Sanjeev might use the speedboat or sailboat retrospective technique to get the best results. And when there is a small number of forums, this is a very natural structure. However, as the number of forums increase, typically producers will want to use multiple facilitators. Let's say that Joe is a product manager who wants to prioritize features with 80 key customers. That's a much larger number than the small number of 18 that Ming wanted to use. And that would be roughly 10 forums, because we don't want to have too many customers in one forum, because too many people in a forum inhibits collaboration. Now, 10 forums, each at 1 hour in duration, is a fair amount of work. And more importantly, if Joe is facilitating every forum, he's going to inadvertently introduce a significant amount of bias into the results, because each forum will represent his personal perspective of the problem. In this case, we recommend that Joe assemble a team of facilitators. Perhaps Sally and John and Kim and Mark can each do 2 forums. What this does is it reduces facilitator bias. It also reduces facilitator fatigue and tends to create better results, because you can see how different facilitators will manage the process. Now, if I put these 2 together, I end up with a nice role chart in the different phases. In terms of planning a forum, the producer and the facilitator are often going to work together to select and tailor the frameworks, create the forums, define the guest list, which is the process by which you determine who can participate and who is excluded, invite the participants, and manage the overall process. Now, within a given forum, the facilitator takes charge. They're going to manage the lobby, they're going to start the forum, and they're going to end the forum to make sure it completes on time. All of the data of multiple facilitators flows back into the producer's account, so that the producer can identify a common perspective across all of the forum results. Therefore, the producer is in charge of post-processing. Typically, for multiple forums, the producer will download and analyze the results, prepare a report identifying the actions that will be taken, and help organizations take action. For example, if the producer is Joe in the prior example, and Joe engages a set of forums with 80 customers, Joe is going to get some feedback that's going to impact his roadmap and his backlog. and he's going to want to capture that feedback in a report so that other people can understand what he's doing, why he's doing it, and the actions that are going to be taken. Now, it's important to know that producers and facilitators must have accounts in Weave because we authenticate them to make sure that we know exactly who they are. Now, we can contrast that with participants, and let's look at this flow from a participant's perspective. A participant does not need an account, but they will want to access the platform, which means they need to receive some communication from the producer about when the forum occurs, and they need to schedule time. Now, if you're using Weave internally, it's common to schedule a meeting using some calendaring system and put the Weave join ID, which is the 9-digit code that participants use to join the forum, into that meeting request. Now, sometimes a forum will require some preparation from the participants. In this case, the producer will indicate the preparation work that they want the participants to engage in, and of course, we expect that the participants will do some or all of that preparation work. In the forum, a participant will be collaborating with other participants to make sure that the goals are realized. Now, in the post-processing phase, we typically do not see participants involved. That's because participants don't have access to all of the other forum data. Participants only have access to the data as designated by the producer, which typically is only their forum or perhaps none at all in a market research project. So we typically do not see participants engaged in the post-processing. Now, we sometimes get the question from producers who are managing an internal project, and they'll say, well, what do you think about having some of my participants involved in the post-processing? That's fine. As a producer, you're in charge of how you want to analyze the data. If you think you're going to get the best result by engaging your participants, go ahead and do that. It's your show, and you get to work towards creating the best result.